everyone, this is Peak Entertainment and we're back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to take a look back at the explosive thriller Blown Away. Released on July the 1st, 1994, it stars acting heavyweights Jeff Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones. It has Jeff Bridges' father Lloyd Bridges alongside Forrest Whitaker, and it was directed by Stephen Hopkins. Now the story of Blown Away begins at a prison facility within Northern Ireland where former IRA terrorist Ryan Gerairty is imprisoned. He turns his toilet into a bomb and uses the explosion to escape. We then go to Boston where we focus on Bomb Squad Lieutenant Jimmy Dove, who after being traumatised by previous experiences decides to retire and marry his fiancée Kate. But when Jimmy saves a woman from a bomb in a university and makes an appearance on TV, Gerairty recognises who he is in his former identity as Liam Gerairty. Now in the past, they both worked together under the IRA, and when Gerairty was going to set off a bomb many years ago, Jimmy intercepted it, which resulted in the death of Ryan's sister and him being imprisoned. So Gerairty sets off to Boston for revenge and starts terrorising Jimmy by first gaining intel on his current life and then proceeding to start killing other members within his bomb squad before threatening his family. Jimmy eventually finds himself in a race against time to track down Gerairty and save the lives of his family. Now when looking back at Blown Away, to be honest, it's a bit of a strange movie. On paper, we have all of the ingredients for a tense, exciting action face-off between two personalities. The plot is very straightforward. We get plenty of tense scenes and setup where the hero has to make these last-ditch efforts to save people who are under a threat from a bomb. And the film does generate a real sense of jeopardy and escalation as the story progresses. We do have a somewhat compelling dynamic between both the hero and the villain, who has an understandable and clear-cut motivation. And of course, when you have two acting greats playing these characters, everything should be set up for something special. Yet Blown Away doesn't quite hit the mark as what other great actions did throughout the 1990s, such as let's say The Fugitive or Speed, which was also released earlier in the same year. Film director Stephen Hopkins, who previously directed Predator 2, executes this setup very well enough. Once more, it's back to the old school type of filmmaking where we focus much more on really ramping up all of the suspense rather than quick cuts and shaky cam, which is far too overdone in today's movies. But if there's anything that defeats Blown Away, it's probably the script. Having Gerairty blow up a prison to escape, perhaps okay, we can give that a pass. But having Jimmy revise his whole identity as an American, really, I'm not too sure about that. We understand that Gerairty wants to terrorise Jimmy, but killing all of his other squad members who had nothing to do with their past, that's really a lot of effort for something so meaningless. And he could have easily killed Jimmy several times before. And you do wonder how Gerairty was able to set up all of the bombs in people's houses so easily without detection. All of these devices would have taken a considerable amount of time to create and set up. Especially for a fugitive on the run, where does he get his money, where does he get all of his materials? Again, these are just small details that whilst they don't spoil the overall quality of the film, they do take away a lot of plausibility and credibility. And even the climax itself, where we get the confrontation between the two characters, it really could have been set up much better. We then have to talk about the characterization, in particular concerning the Irish personalities, and having both members linked to the IRA and also be specialists about bombs is quite cliched and very offensive when you look back on it now. Why both characters couldn't have just been American terrorists, I still don't know. We then look at the whole backstory, and I think had they had it where Gerairty had escaped the initial bomb that was set off and was somehow wounded in the attack, he then recovered and then searched for revenge, that would have been a far more clear-cut and once more a far more plausible setup rather than have him break out of prison and then travel all the way to America despite being a fugitive on the run. We then have to talk about all of those Irish accents, which are just terrible when spoken by all actors, concerning Tommy Lee Jones, Jeff Bridges and Lloyd Bridges. We see Tommy Lee Jones very much going all out for that crazy psychotic personality in terms of the villain. And yes, when you give this type of character to a great actor, normally it can be something truly show-stopping and scene-stealing. But every time he speaks in that Irish accent, it just completely throws you off the character and you just can't take it seriously. Plus we get all of the stereotypes of him drinking in the pub, listening to U2 songs as he constructs all of the bombs, because all Irish people have to listen to U2, right? And it's just things like this that make the film a bit cringy. even when you watch it now, and when it was released, it did gain criticism for this type of portrayal, and I think it is definitely warranted. I just don't think it's handled very well, and perhaps the movie would have been served far better without the links of the IRA in general. So we then go on to the movie's overall release, and it wasn't that big of a success, only managing to gross around $53 million from a $28 million budget. Now, many did report its failure at the time due to the film being overshadowed by the release of Speed, which was released 1 month earlier, and that of course went on to become one of the biggest box office successes of the year. And despite Jeff Bridges being a well-respected actor, he wasn't really an action movie star, and this film was his first entry into the genre. Director Stephen Hopkins stated that he really had to fight to get Jeff Bridges in the lead role because many studios didn't think that he was that type of actor. And to be fair, he does okay when he's not managing the Irish accents, and his overall performance wasn't really the main issue of the movie. And Blown Away really is a forgotten entry within the action movies of the 1990s. And overall, I think the movie is a bit of a shame and a disappointment when you consider you've got all of these great actors, plus Stephen Hopkins, who has been very adept at creating very exciting movies when you look at, of course, Predator 2, and also the very underrated The Ghost and the Darkness. So overall, when I look at Blown Away, it's one of those films that, on paper, it should have been something very compelling and very exciting and special, but overall, issues with the script and also the characterization ultimately let this film down. So there's my overall thoughts and feelings when looking back at Blown Away from 1994. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any other movies or television series that you'd like to see me cover, or any other topics within the pop entertainment and culture scene that you'd like to see me talk on, let me know within the comments, and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on that subject matter within the future. Please consider hitting like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very, very soon.